Good evening, students. Welcome back to our physics class. In last lecture, we discussed about, or we just started a molecular spectroscopy in which rotation spectra we are discussing. So today we are extending that point, and we will discuss more in detail about rotation spectra and one example of rotation spectra. So first of all, what is by rotation spectra? Actually, a rotation spectra is concerned with the measurement of energies of transition between quantized rotational state of molecule in the gas phase. The spectra of a polar molecules can be measured in absorption or emission by microwave spectroscopy or far infrared spectroscopy. Okay, actually rotation spectra is nothing but a simply measurement of energies of transition between quantized rotational state of molecules. So that spectroscopy having some different part, that is microwave rotation spectroscopy, rotation of linear molecules, rotational spectra of a diatomic molecules, rho vibrational spectroscopy. Okay, but in this paper or in rotation spectra, we have to understand how or how we can measure the energy transition between the quantized rotational state. Okay, that we have to discuss today with a rigid rotator. Okay, actually the rotation of if you consider a diatomic molecule in which the rotation of diatomic molecules can be described by rigid rotator. That's why we are considering a rigid rotator. To imagine the model, think of spinning dumbbells. The dumbbell has two masses set at a fixed distance from one another and spin around its center of mass. This model can be further simplified using the concept of reduced mass, which allows the problem to be treated as a single bodied system. Okay. As we see in this figure, for a diatic molecules, we are describing the rotation spectra of a diatomic molecules by the rigid rotator model, in which we are considering two masses which are separated at a some distance from one another and spins around its center of mass. Okay, on that basis we can understand our rotation spectra. How? That we have to discuss in today's lecture. If we move forward, actually similar to the most quantum mechanical system, our model can be completely described by its wave function. Therefore, when we attempt to solve for the energy, we are led to solve a Schrodinger equation. In the context of the rigid rotor, where there is a neutral center or rotation around a center of mass, the wave function are best described in spherical coordinate system. That's why we have to use a spherical polar coordinate system. In addition to having pure rotational spectra, diatomic molecules have rotational spectra associated with their vibrational spectra. Rotational spectra associate with their vibrational spectra. Okay, The order of magnitude differ greatly between the two, with rotational transition having energy proportional to 1 to 10 centimeter, means it belongs to a microwave radiations. Okay, and the vibrations transition having energy proportional 100 to 3000 centimeter, it belongs to a infrared. That's why rotation spectra is therefore referred to as a microwave spectroscopy. It belongs to a microwave spectroscopy. So let us start with rigid rotor model. A diatomic molecule consists two masses bound together. As we see in this figure, the distance between the masses or the bond length is r. That r can be considered as a fixed because the level of vibration in the bond is small compared to the bond length. As the molecule rotates, it does so around its center of mass. It rotates around its center of mass. As we see in this figure, one object or one atom having mass m1 and another atom having mass m2. They are separated at a distance r1 and r2 from center of mass. These two masses are rotating around a center of mass and they are separated by a distance capital R. So from Schrodinger equations, we are getting rotational energy, that is h square by 8 pi square I j into j plus 1. We derived this equation in last lecture. So we have to understand each and every term from this rotational energy level, where Ej is the rotational energy of a rigid rotor, which is in joule. J is nothing but a rotational quantum number. I is the moment of inertia, which is equal to mu r square, where mu is nothing but the reduced mass, which is equal to the m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2. Reduced mass is equal to m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2, and r is equal to the internuclear distance, where r is the internuclear distance, which is also called as a bond length. Which is also called as a bond length. So first, my aim is to find out the energy levels of a rigid diatomic rotor. The rotational energy of a rigid diatomic rotor Ej is quantized, where J is nothing but the rotational quantum number, which is equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on. Therefore, Ej is equal to h square by 8 pi square I into j plus 1. So rotational energy is normally expressed in centimeter inverse. If we recall that concept, E is equal to h nu from Planck's energy equation, that frequency converted into the wave number, which is equal to h c v bar. Therefore, v bar is equal to E by h c, or that Ej is equal to small Ej is equal to Ej by hc. We know the value of Ej is equal to h square by 8 pi square I j into j plus 1 divided by hc, divided by hc. 1h get cancelled. If we simplify this, finally we get h by 8 pi square I c into j plus 1. This h by 8 pi square I c is nothing but the rotational constant B, which is equal to the rotational constant, which is measured in terms of centimeter inverse. Now that Ej is equal to B into j plus plus j into j plus 1, where b is the nothing but the rotational constant, which is equal to h by 8 pi square IC. H by 8 pi square IC. B can be determined from spectroscopic experiments. Spectroscopic experiment. So, if we move forward, one example for understand this formula or this equation, just solve one numerical problem in which from microspectroscopy the bond length can be determined with a corresponding high precision, as I illustrate in this example. From the rotational microspectra of HCl, we find B is equal to 10.59342 centimeter inverse. Given that the masses of H and Cl are 1.0078 250 and the mass of Cl is 34.9688527 atomic mass in terms of atomic mass unit respectively. Then determine the bond length of HCl molecule. That bond length we have to find out, or that bond length is equal to R, as we discuss in this second slide. The total internuclear distance, or the distance between two objects, two masses, is nothing but a bond length, that we have to find out in this numeric. So B is equal to h by 8 pi square IC, where I is nothing but mu naught R naught square, where mu is nothing but the reduced mass, which is equal to the m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2. Now my first aim is to find out its reduced mass, mu. Then rearrange this equation, because I want to find out a bond length, that is R. So if we rearrange this equation, R naught square is equal to h by 8 pi square mu C B. So taking square root on both sides, R naught is equal to square root of h by 8 pi square mu C B. If we substitute the value of h, which is equal to 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 divided by 8 pi square C into reduced mass is nothing but m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2, in which the mass of H is 1.007825 and the mass of Cl is 34.9688. If we substitute that value, simply multiply with B, which is equal to 10.59342, then we get R naught is equal to 1.274 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. 1.274 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. In this way we can find out the bond length, or which is also called as the internuclear distance. Internuclear distance. You just try this calculation with the help of calculator. Okay. So if we move forward, the rotational transition in rigid diatomic molecule, there are some transactions are allowed and some transactions are forbidden. Why? On which basis some transactions are allowed and some transactions are forbidden? There are some selection rules are there. Those transaction follows these selection rules, then only that transactions are called as allowed transactions. Allowed transactions. So let us start or let's discuss this selection rule. First selection rule, delta mu is not equal to 0. It means what? It means what? A molecule gives a rotational spectrum only if it has a permanent dipole moment. Permanent dipole moment. If there is a no dipole moment, it means what? That transactions are forbidden. That's why del mu is not equal to 0. The second criteria is delta j is equal to plus or minus 1. Means the change in rotational quantum number is equal to plus or minus 1. 0, delta j is equal to 0 are forbidden. Plus 1 when the transactions plus 1 for absorption and minus 1 for emission. So if we see the right hand side, we are able to see allowed transactions from 0 to 1 in which delta j is equal to plus 1, 1 to 2 plus 1 and so on. The separation between this adjacent level can we find out Ej is equal to delta Ej is equal to Ej minus Ej minus 1, Ej minus Ej minus Ej minus 1, which is equal to, if we simplify this, if we substitute the value of Ej and Ej minus 1 and simplify this, you will get 2Bj, 2 into B into J, where J is the rotational quantum number and B is the, what is my B? That we discussed earlier, that B is nothing but a rotational constant, that B is nothing but a rotational constant, and B can be obtained from the spacing between rotational lines in the spectra of molecule, in the spectra of molecule. So selection rule for rotational transition in rigid diatomic molecules is delta J is equal to plus or minus 1, plus 1 for the absorption and minus 1 for the emission, and second one is the delta mu is equal to 0, that molecule having permanent dipole moment, then and then only that transitions are allowed. So let us discuss one by one allowed transitions and forbidden transitions.